This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6 o'clock, Classroom to Career is part of our Hiring Hoosiers initiative dedicated to helping your kids find their future career path. This morning, we are live looking into a program that's giving students a jump start in the pharmacy industry. And it was an incident with police in Muncie that got a lot of attention. The reason the man in this body camera video is no longer facing charges this morning. It is 6 o'clock on your Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick. Lauren Casey has the morning off, and meteorologist Todd Clausen joins me now. And excuse me, Todd, I'm getting a little choked up.
These warm temperatures. Yeah,
thinking about how far fall is away.
Yeah, I know. We got kind of teased with some cooler temperatures the past few weeks. All the fall stuff's obviously out in the stores. And you're thinking about pumpkin patches, and I'm thinking about getting out on a boat here today with temperatures that will be up in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. You need the sunglasses here as you go out the door this morning, so make sure you grab them. You do not need to worry about any rain gear, and you don't even need the light jacket this morning, as temperatures right now are running in the 60s and 70s, about 15 degrees warmer than they were 24 hours ago. Here's a live look outside, and the skies will start to brighten here probably within the next half hour, although the official sunrise is not until well after 7:15 now. So here is satellite radar picture. We're dealing with a little bit of cloud cover this morning, but no precipitation. All the storms are to our north. That is where they stay throughout the entire day today. So the one thing you will notice this morning is temperatures will warm very, very quickly. They don't really fall off anymore from this point until 8 in the morning. But once the sun does come up, we'll thin any cloud cover out. We're at 83 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour, on our way up to a high today of 90 degrees. Meredith.
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 at US 31. You can see traffic starting to pick up in that area, but no issues to report at this hour. When you get a cold, you head to the doctors, and you'll likely leave with a prescription. Students at Area 31 Career Center are working to become pharmacy techs, who will then help you fill that order to help you get better. Our Aaron Lish is live at Area 31 this morning. And Aaron, these students are doing some pretty impressive work.
They are, they're getting set up to work in places like Walgreens or CVS, as well as those hospital settings. So inside the Career Center, they have their mock pharmacy. They learn how to measure, mix, count, and label and record doses of medicine. And for those hospital pharmacies, they are actually learning how to fill IV bags. And something very important, they are also being taught patient confidentiality and the ethics in pharmacy practices. And for one former student who's now working as a pharmacy tech, she says this program provides a better idea of what this industry is all about.
Bringing light to this program, this type of field, is great because it lets people know what the people behind the counter are dealing with.
We do a lot of community give back projects in here as well. We are here to service the community, and I feel like they need to learn that from the get-go by actually going out and doing. Over and over and over again, but over time.
So through this program, they can take their pharmacy boards, earn an associate's degree, and get the ASHP Pharmacy Tech accreditation. And that instructor was actually telling us that Area 31 is the first high school to have this type of accreditation. So pretty high standards here. We're going to actually hear from one of the students in the program right now and what she thinks about this helping further her career. Back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. If you're looking to learn more about these career programs or other job opportunities in Central Indiana, our Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page is a big help. That's where you can find posts from prospective companies looking for new employees and all of our other Hiring Hoosiers stories. That's all just a click away for you on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. Taking a turn now, the investigation continues this morning after an elderly couple died in a fire at their home in Mooresville. Crews were called to the house in the area of Indiana and High Streets around 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. The coroner says 79-year-old Mary Featherston died at the scene. Her husband, 84-year-old Donald Featherston, later died at Eskenazi. The cause of the fire is not clear at this hour. A Muncie man accused of resisting police and drug possession is no longer facing charges related to an incident captured on body cameras. We do want to warn you, the video may be hard to watch.
Oh my God, please, I'm not doing nothing.
Call 6 Investigates first told you about this case last fall. In June of last year, Muncie police responded to a tip about a man named Jesse Vernon dealing drugs. An officer found a bag allegedly thrown by Vernon with money and drugs inside. That then led to the arrest and altercation you see here. Last week, Delaware County prosecutors dismissed all 4 criminal charges against Verdon. Now, RTV6 reached out to the prosecuting attorney to find out the reason behind the decision. He told us, quote, the defendant and another person were riding a bicycle at nighttime, and the officers observed one of the 2 persons throw a bag which ultimately contained the drugs. We are unable to prove beyond a reasonable doubt which person threw the bag, end quote. Muncie police told RTV6 they were unaware of the charges being dismissed. A Southern Indiana judge charged in connection with a fight and shooting outside a White Castle in downtown Indianapolis will not spend any time in jail. On Monday, Clark County Circuit Court Judge Andrew Adams pleaded guilty to battery resulting in bodily injury. As part of the agreement, prosecutors dismissed 6 additional charges against Adams. He received a suspended sentence of 365 days in jail. Adams and a fellow judge were shot and wounded in May outside the fast food restaurant not far from Lucas Oil Stadium. The other judge was not charged in the case. When you turn on the radio today, you're going to hear something besides music. Our radio partners, Radio 1, are stopping the music today to share important conversations about suicide prevention and mental health. It's their way of recognizing World Suicide Prevention Day. And our Alyssa Donovan is live at the Radio 1 studios this morning. Alyssa, this is meant to help get rid of the stigma surrounding mental health.
He's got to hold the sign up right there. You're doing so good.
That's right, Meredith. And we are here with the Joe and the Radio Now Morning Show. Mackenzie, Pork Chop, Liv, and Joe.
Hello.
Tell me a little bit about what this is all about.
Well, we want to try to help promote mental well-being. Obviously, it's National Suicide Prevention Week and month and day, and we're trying to help out and make sure that we cover a topic that, unfortunately, is very serious with our audience, but everybody. I think when you think of suicide prevention or different things, you think of maybe older people like back in the day, but now one of the, I think it's the second leading cause among 10 to 24-year-olds is suicide, and that's just so sad. Like, life is so good. Even if you're going through something tough, it's not worth ending your life. And we want to try to bring people on to talk about depression, which, like, I suffer from. We want to talk about mental health and get rid of the stigma. And we're going to have tons of experts. We have so many great resources, which I don't think anybody here on the show or on Radio Now 100.9 knew about here right in Indy that can help you out. So we're going to have them on our station today. Actually, all of our Radio 1 properties, including Hot 96.3, WTLC, and here at Radio Now 100.9 from 10 to 12 today. We're going to stop the music, and we're going to have some really good conversations.
And tell me, if someone can't tune in during that time, is there another way that they can listen?
Yeah, you can, of course, listen on your radio for our station, Radio Now 100.9. We have our app. You can download that. Also, too, we put a lot of stuff on social media, just like you guys do, and we're glad we got to partner up with you guys at RTV6. Radio Now 100.9 on Instagram, Radio Now 1009 on Twitter. Those are some different ways to connect and check it out.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And you can see the whole crew is here in the studio. We're going to have a lot more on this coming up in the next half hour. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Right. Alyssa, thank you. If you're looking to learn more, we're going to take a turn now, and today is your chance to make your opinion heard about proposals to raise your IPL bill. The company is asking for a series of rate hikes spread out over 7 years. Bills would go up between 0.8 and 1.3% between next year and 2026. A public meeting will be held this evening at 6 o'clock at the Schweitzer Student Career Center on the U-Indy campus. A project to transform a major road in Hamilton County is now officially underway. Government, business leaders, and other officials gathered on Monday at the southwest corner of State Road 37 and the 126th Street to mark the start of the State Road 37 improvement project. Several intersections and fissures will be turned into roundabout interchanges similar to Keystone Avenue in Carmel. Changes will be made from 126th Street to 146th Street. The project is expected to be complete in 2022. At 6:09, an Indianapolis organization is asking for your help after someone vandalized a historic and beloved piece of public art. The piano that sits outside the District Theater on Mass Ave is so badly damaged it cannot make music. The damage includes broken front and top panels and a pedal that is snapped off. Now, Indy Fringe hopes to raise $5,000 to help repair and restore the piano. If you'd like to donate, go to the RTV6 app and click on this story for more information. There's something pretty futuristic happening at Purdue University. Come take a look at this. You can now get food delivered by a robot just with the tap of your phone. Monday was the first day that Starship Deliveries rolled out its fleet to deliver food from any restaurant anywhere on Purdue's campus. Through an app, you order your food and watch on a map as the robot brings it to you so you can unlock it and get your food. Each robot can carry up to 20 pounds and it usually makes its trips within minutes. All right, Todd, what is the first thing that you would order with that Starship robot there?
Right now, I'd guess some sort of breakfast sandwich.
Okay.
Eggs, some sausage, some cheese.
That sounds delicious.
An English muffin or something like that.
Nothing for me?
Sounds pretty good. I'll get you something minus the English muffin.
All right.
Since you can't eat that. All right, outside right now, we are dealing with temperatures that are pretty warm. Grab your cup of coffee, get going here this morning. Temperatures in the upper 60s with a mixture of sun and clouds, off to a warmer start than we've seen the past few days. And also it's a dry start with just this one little band of cloud cover working its way through the area. There are some storms off to our north and west, but that's where they stay. This area of high pressure is really firmly in control of our weather. The southerly winds are helping to bring in the warmer temperatures and a little bit of humidity, but this area of high pressure is also keeping those showers to our north. So the main focus on our forecast for the day today is just on the temperatures. 89 today for your high in Kokomo, 90 in Noblesville, Greenwood right around 91 degrees, as warm as 93 in some southern locations as we deal with some late season heat, not just for today, but all the way through at least Thursday. More on that extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. A local organization is making sure everyone has the opportunity to work. Just ahead in Hiring Hoosiers, the chance for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to learn valuable job skills. And it is World Suicide Prevention Day. Staying mentally healthy is a challenge. The group Mental Health America has tons of resources for you to check in on your own mental health, including a stress screener, fact sheet, and a risk chart for mental health conditions. And guess what? We've made it easy for you to check out. You just have to head on over to the RTV6 app or the IndyChannel.com. This is World Suicide Prevention Day on RTV6. We'll be right back.
At Ross, yes for less.
Now to Hiring Hoosiers. Through this initiative, we're not only working to connect you with job opportunities and training, but we're also looking at the barriers that keep people from working. So our Lauren Casey traveled up to Zionsville to learn about an initiative giving job training to adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And it's a story we think will warm your heart, and it may even inspire you to get involved in their mission.
Well, we're right now painting the curves, as you can see.
These workers may look like they're with the town of Zionsville.
Oh, it feels amazing. Yes, I've been making good friends.
But Alex Gillihan is part of a nonprofit corporation called Watch Us Farm. And while today they aren't on the farm, that is part of what they do to get work ready.
I've been planting fruits and vegetables. I've been going to the trails, painting.
Busy summer.
Yeah.
We don't take money for this. My husband and I do this because this is what we want to do, and I want people to have jobs.
Janice Agarwal is the executive director, and this is her vision. After spending time living in Europe, she saw how community farms help to teach adults with intellectual disabilities skills for the workforce.
It gives quality of life. It gives a community something to support. There are lots of volunteers, and it changes their lives. It changes lives. So when you start seeing this all over the world, I wanted it here.
Watch Us Farm provides basic jobs and training for adults with disabilities who are high functioning and can work, but they may need a little bit of help.
Sometimes they can be totally independent, but they may need you to come in and check on them. So we want to be that safety net for them.
Janice and her staff break down the tasks step by step.
And then we kind of figure out what they can and can't do and how they learn.
Take pictures and document the steps.
Someone asked me, could they do this job? I now know how I can break it down, and I can start learning how to place kids.
Right now, they're partnering with the town of Zionsville to do this work on the streets. The town gives them the supplies.
They work hard. They'll do the same thing every single day for 10 years, and they'll be fine with that. You know, they just don't do change that well.
Workers like Alex get paid for his hard work, and he gets some help from volunteers who become his friends. And his message for you as he picks up his paintbrush?
I would love to get more friends out here.
Lauren Casey reporting. So how can we make this job training successful for adults with disabilities? Janice tells us she needs people like you. Not only are they partnering with places like Zionsville and Carmel, but they also want to work with local businesses. They always need volunteers to work alongside their adult workers, and they need donations and community support. They have big plans for the future of their farm and its workers. To learn more about Watch's Farm and to find out how you or your company can get involved, we posted all the information in this story on our website at hiringhoosiers.com. Just click on the link, and there you can also find contact information if you or someone you know would benefit from the job training they have to offer. A great story to start our Tuesday morning. Taking a turn now, the FDA is sending a warning letter to Juul today saying they illegally promoted their e-cigarettes by claiming they are less harmful than regular cigarettes. The government says Juul needs to correct its marketing or face fines, possibly even have products seized. This was based on a hearing over the summer where Congress heard students tell stories of Juul representatives coming to their school campuses. The reps told students that Juul was totally safe, or 99% safer than cigarettes. Juul needed to present evidence and get approval from the FDA to make these claims. Fighting is a part of hockey, but one incident at a hockey game in Canada ended up with criminal charges being filed. This fight happened during a youth hockey game in Alberta. In the video, you can see two men going after a referee on the ice before tackling him and punching him repeatedly. Now, this all happened after a player got into an argument with the ref and was ejected from the game. The 10-year-old then swung his stick repeatedly at the ref. Now those two men are facing charges in the case. Wow, man, youth sports always getting crazy, Todd.
Yeah, all right, outside right now. Maybe you want to get on the ice rink here at some point this afternoon. No fighting, of course.
Maybe an iced adult beverage.
Right, just the way to cool off, because temperatures are going back up into the 90s later on this afternoon for many of you. It's a dry forecast for the day today, even though there will be a little bit of cloud cover around at times. But the best chance of storms does not arrive in the forecast until tomorrow. And then this heat, it sticks around until Thursday. And then Friday, a cold front will come through the area and it'll knock our temperatures down a little bit, but not dramatically. Outside right now, we are dealing with partly cloudy skies, a sunrise not until 7:21 here this morning. 69 degrees, that is the current temperature. The dew point's starting to come up. What that means is it's going to feel a little more uncomfortable as the day goes on across the area with these temperatures and the humidity climbing. 69 in Indy, 70 though in Lafayette, 65 in Bloomington and Greensboro. You're at 63 degrees. And here's just a little band of cloud cover that's making its way through the area this morning. No precipitation, though, but some of you will have to deal with, we'll call mostly cloudy skies. But once the sun comes up, we'll start to burn some of this cloud cover off pretty quickly. That is the good news. This rain, that is going to stay well to our north. In fact, some really good storms just north of Chicago here this morning up towards Milwaukee. So that's in your travel plans. Just keep that in mind. But closer to home throughout the day today, it's just all about the temperatures. 82 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. 90 degrees will be your high temperature by the time we get to 4 p.m. with a mixture of sun and clouds, and then your 6 p.m. temperature is right around 88 degrees. Overnight tonight, temperatures kind of where they are right now, 66 to about 71 degrees. So it's mild overnight, but it's also a little bit muggy. Now, looking ahead in this forecast, I mentioned the storm chances tomorrow. It's only about a 20 to maybe 30% chance of an isolated storm flaring up. A high temperature right around 89 degrees. Thursday, we're back to 90. It should be dry throughout the day on Thursday. Then we get to Friday, and that's the best chance of storms. That's when the cold front comes through. 85 degrees, your high temperature on Friday. And then eventually heading into the weekend, we'll cool things off just a little bit across the area. But here are those storm chances tomorrow. They're kind of with us off and on throughout the day, but everything is just very, very spotty in nature. So I don't need you to cancel any plans that you may have for tomorrow afternoon, but just know that there will be the chance of a few scattered storms. I mentioned that weekend forecast, 81 on Saturday. The humidity is down as well. And skies look to be mostly sunny, which will be great for all the college football games across the area. And then Sunday and Monday, we're back up to right around 85 degrees. Meredith?
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera at I-69 at 106th Street in Fishers. Good morning to everyone up there. No issues to report at this hour. This morning, one town in Canada is dealing with a very unusual problem. Just ahead in our Trending 6, the reason they say they are being invaded by drunk raccoons. More on that coming up.
SourceStaffing.com.
Before you head out the door, it's time for the Trending 6. These are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online and you'll want to know about. Today, Apple is planning a big product unveiling in California. So what can you expect to see? Most experts expect us to get a look at some brand new iPhones, but they say it will likely be nothing that is foldable or substantially different from last year. According to reports, Apple will likely show off 3 new high-end iPhones, the iPhone 11 Pro, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and just the iPhone 11. There was a wild start to the first Monday Night Football game of the season. It certainly looked like the Houston Texans were going to capture a huge road victory over the New Orleans Saints when they scored a go-ahead touchdown with less than a minute left in the game. But Drew Brees and the Saints were not done yet. In 37 seconds, Brees led the team down the field, setting up a 58-yard field goal attempt for New Orleans. Will Lutz knocked it through as time expired, giving the Saints a 30-28 victory. Take a look at this video lighting up social media. This is 26-month-old Maxwell and his best friend, 27-month-old Finnegan. Just look at the pure joy the two got at the sight of one another. They run right into each other's arms and give each other a big hug. I can't stop watching this. The pint-sized best buddies have known each other for a little more than a year now. So cute. Well, how about this incredible discovery? Hundreds of footprints dating back about 80,000 years were recently found in France. Scientists say these footprints were made by Neanderthals as they walked through sand dunes in Normandy. They were likely made by about 10 to 14 people traveling through the area. Experts say it will shed a light on how these groups lived and traveled. Wow, that's pretty cool. This morning, one town in Canada is dealing with an unusual problem. They are being invaded by drunk raccoons. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, the raccoons living near the town have been feasting on some fermenting berries, and the animals are now being found around town sleeping in random spots. Witnesses say they're also stumbling around, falling over. Some people online are suggesting getting the raccoons some Advil, maybe a greasy cheeseburger. Gatorade helps sometimes too. Pedialyte also. And how about this great moment before the Boston Red Sox game on Monday night? That is former Red Sox star David Ortiz running out onto the field and throwing out the first pitch. Now, you might recall Ortiz is recovering after he was shot in the Dominican Republic back in June, and he's been receiving treatment at a Boston hospital. This was his first appearance at Fenway Park since that shooting. He looks very healthy and happy, so that is good.
I saw that this morning, and it was just great to see him trot out onto the field, get that warm reception.
Well, and I know when that happened, a lot of people were concerned about what it could mean for his future.
And he's beloved there in the Boston area, not just for what he did on the field, but for what he does in the community as well. So it's great to see him getting healthy and throwing out that first pitch. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with temperatures that are currently in the 60s in many locations. We'll warm quickly here this morning, all the way up to about 82 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour, with high temperatures later on this afternoon, getting up to right around 90. It's going to be a warm one out there. Make sure you drink plenty of water throughout the day. The time now is 6:27. We'll be back here on Good Morning Indiana in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
Waffle for the chance to win a trip to Belgium.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
I didn't hesitate at all with vaping. I'd always get something new every week. I poured a lot of money into it.
Only on RTV6, an Indiana man says his lungs collapsed because of vaping. Coming up, the important message he wants you to hear. And there's always a need for medical workers, and that includes those behind the counter at the drugstore. Just ahead, a program that gives students a jump start in the pharmacy industry. Alyssa.
And we are live this morning with the Joe and the Radio Now morning show ahead of their event in recognition of World Suicide Prevention Day. We'll have a lot more coming up.
Alyssa, thank you. It is 6:31 here on your Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right into things, Todd. It is going to be hot outside. Not typically what we're used to this time of year, but definitely possible for the beginning of September.
Yeah, you know, it's not abnormal that we get temperatures in the 90s, but when you've had some highs only in the 70s, like we did over the weekend, all of a sudden it's like, Whew, this feels a little warmer.
Wait, summer, you're back?
It's a little different than the heat in August, when you expect it. So outside right now, we're off to a partly cloudy start. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. The sky's just starting to brighten a little bit there as you look off towards the north. Sunrise officially is not until 7:21 here this morning. So there's a little bit of cloud cover out there, and there's one little lone shower. Looks like it's trying to get itself going there north of Richmond. I wouldn't be concerned about the showers here this morning. Maybe there could be a sprinkle out there as this little band of cloud cover moves through, but all the heavy rainfall will stay to our north, and it's going to be a pretty persistent storm track there from Wisconsin back into Omaha. These storms are not going to make their way south because high pressure is in control, so instead they're just going to be going in that direction. But obviously if your travels take you in that direction here throughout the day today, basically north of Chicago, maybe if you're flying through O'Hare or Midway, you should be okay. I think most of those storms are probably Milwaukee and to the north. Closer to home, though, we are dealing with partly cloudy skies here this morning. Notice how quick the temperatures warm. We're already out of the 80s by the time we get to the noon hour, about 83 on our way up to a high later on this afternoon, Meredith, of 90 degrees.
Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look right now from our INDOT traffic camera. We are looking at I-69 at 116th Street. No issues to report in that area this morning. RTV6 is working for you, sharing a warning from a Crawfordsville man who believes he is a victim of vaping.
The more I think about it, the scarier it kind of gets, because we really don't know.
Kyle Lano was just 20 years old when his lungs collapsed. His left lung last summer and his right lung less than a month ago. He spent 6 days in the hospital. Now, doctors cannot definitely say his health problems are caused by vaping, but Kyle is convinced that is the case.
I didn't know how serious it was until I was actually in the hospital, until they showed me how small my lung was. That freaked me out.
The products came onto the scene so quickly and became popular so quickly that then it's just hard sometimes for that data to make its way into the mainstream and people to become aware what those health risks might be.
Kyle is sharing his story just days after the Department of Health announced a death in Indiana connected to vaping. Dozens of lung illnesses in the state and hundreds across the country are being linked to vaping. The Food and Drug Administration has issued a warning to the vaping company Juul about illegally marketing vaping products as a safer alternative to cigarettes. Under federal law, companies must show scientific evidence before marketing tobacco products as a better option. Juul has 15 days to comply with the law or risk fines or other action. Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and our radio partners, Radio 1, are stopping the music to share some important conversations. Our Alyssa Donovan is live at the Radio 1 studios this morning. Alyssa, the hope is to help eliminate the stigma of mental health and suicide here in Indiana.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right, Meredith. And we are here with the Joe and the Radio Now morning show. I have Joe and Mackenzie here this morning. We also have Liv and Pork Chop. Everyone's in the studio this morning. Just wanted to point them out. And Joe, tell me a little bit about why you guys are doing this.
Well, today is National Suicide Prevention Day, and the actual whole month and week, there's a lot of awareness going on for suicide prevention, but also mental health. We talk about, like, if you're an alcoholic, we talk about maybe if you're addicted to cigarettes, but we really, I feel like, have a stigma, not on our show, but just in general in society, of not talking about that. So we're going to have a live thing today on the show on our station, Radio Now 100.9, and actually across all of our Radio 1 stations like Hot 96.3, WTLC, and others. And we're going to have a discussion. We're having experts in the community of Indianapolis, which, by the way, blown away of how many actual resources are available here to talk about that. We're going to have people that cover that because, you know, the LGBTQ community, we have military veterans. I mean, there's so many different people. But the most staggering thing, Mackenzie, is the youth.
Absolutely. I mean, we're just really opening up the conversation. You know, 4 out of 5 teens that attempt suicide, they give warning signs. So we want to let people know what to look for, you know, just really raise awareness. And that's exactly what we're going to do today.
5 seconds.
So what can people expect when they tune in terms of, you know, the message that you guys are hoping to put across?
We just really want to get awareness out there. We're going to have, like we said, a panel of experts. Any questions you might have, just really, like I said, we're going to stop the music and have the conversation. And we're so privileged to be able to do so live.
All right, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio. You can see they are back on air this morning. They're, of course, going to be pushing this morning just as much as we are. A very, very important message today on World Suicide Prevention Day. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Alyssa, thank you. Very, very important there. This morning, investigators are still trying to figure out what caused a fire that killed an elderly couple in Mooresville. Crews were called to a house near Indiana and High Streets around 4 o'clock Monday afternoon. The coroner says 79-year-old Mary Featherston died at the scene. Her husband, 84-year-old Donald Featherston, later died at Eskenazi Hospital. One person is in the hospital this morning after a shooting on the west side of Indianapolis. It happened just after 11 last night near 13th and North LaSalle Street. Metro Police tell us the victim is expected to survive. No word this morning on the search for a shooter or what led up to the gunfire. A southern Indiana judge charged with a fight and shooting outside a White Castle in downtown Indianapolis will not spend any time in jail. On Monday, Clark County Circuit Court Judge Andrew Adams pleaded guilty to battery resulting in bodily injury. As part of a plea deal, prosecutors dismissed 6 additional charges against Adams. Adams and another judge were shot and wounded in May outside the White Castle near Lucas Oil Stadium. The other judge was not charged. Today in Hiring Hoosiers, getting ready for a career as a pharmacist while students are still in high school. These students are part of a pharmacy tech program that gives them skills they can take to the workplace later. Our Aaron Lish is live outside Area 31 with more on this program and how it works. Hey, Aaron.
Good morning. So, the population, it's getting older. That's according to the Department of Labor statistics. And the thing is, typically those older people have to take more medications than the younger generations. So with that, there's going to be a need for more pharmacy techs, and students here are learning to do just that.
I'll grab 4, open it up. I'll put the rest in the bottle.
In Area 31 Career Center's mock pharmacy, Dana Wilson is filling prescriptions for the pharmacy tech program.
And then we'll just put this back on the counter. That's a lot of stuff we do in retail.
Which can help with landing a job in the medical field.
Any career path that has to deal with any type of medicine. So you have to learn that foundation first before you can move forward.
Labeling pill bottles, filling IV bags, and learning patient confidentiality are a few things done at the program. But the first step is outreach to those they hope to serve.
We do a lot of community give back projects in here as well. We are here to service the community, and I feel like they need to learn that from the get-go by actually going out and doing.
They can take their pharmacy boards, earn an associate's degree, and get the ASHP Pharmacy Tech accreditation. This program brings a bright light to the industry, according to a former student who's now in the workforce.
It was great because it lets people know what the people behind the counter are dealing with.
And for Wilson, who's in her final year of school, she says this is setting her up for success to become a nurse.
I like seeing people get better. I want to be a part of somebody's life, seeing them, maybe if they come into hospital hurt, and just going through that process and helping them get better.
So it's expected that in the next 10 years, there will be a need for more pharmacy techs, about 7%, and that's actually more than any other career. So this is a great program here at Area 31. Back to you in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. The Indy Fringe organization is asking for your help after someone vandalized a historic and beloved piece of public art. The piano that sits outside the District Theater on Mass Ave is so badly damaged it cannot make music. The damage includes a broken front and top panels and a pedal that was snapped off. Leaders with Indy Fringe say whoever vandalized the piano took a lot of joy away from the neighborhood.
You'd see children coming up to it, playing on the piano, adults, all ages enjoyed it, and especially on the weekends. Anytime we had a play or something going on, people would go by, tickle the ivories a little bit, and move on.
Indy Fringe hopes to raise $5,000 to repair and restore the piano. If you'd like to donate, you can go to the RTV6 app and click on this story for more information. At 6:40, it's time for our favorite forecast of the day. Let's see what cute little buddy you have for us this morning.
All right, you ready
Todd?
for Miko?
Okay.
Here comes Miko, and look at Miko. He's just sitting there all nice and looks like in some of the perennials there in the garden. And thanks to Lindsay for sending Miko in, and it's a good day for the dog walking forecast. We're going to give you green paws. I know it's going to get a little hot out there for some of you, so you may want to limit your walks, a little bit of a shorter distance for both you and your pet, as it's going to get close to 90 degrees later on this afternoon. So let's talk about some of these high temperatures. Keep in mind our normal high now is only right around 80 degrees. Today we'll be in the upper 80s to even low 90s in northern locations as well. Marion 90, 89 in Lafayette, Crawfordsville 89 as well. Southern locations here as warm as maybe 92 to 93 degrees from Bedford over towards Seymour. So this is some pretty big time late season heat for us. Bloomington at 91 degrees. Then in and around the metro area, we're looking at high temperatures that'll be right around 90 degrees. It's not just a one-day deal. We deal with high temperatures generally right around the 90-degree mark for at least the next 2 days. We'll talk more about when the change arrives by the end of the week coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. She says she doesn't need an attorney. Coming up, a murder suspect will have one on standby, but she says she wants to act as her own lawyer. And more road construction coming in Hamilton County, and yes, that means more roundabouts. We'll show you where this project is getting underway. It is 6:42, and we just want to remind you it is World Suicide Prevention Day. If you have had suicidal thoughts or problems that feel unsolvable, you are not alone. And we found a resource that is trying to hack suffering. Now Matters Now has videos on surviving suicidal thoughts and on mindfulness to fight against them. To see these videos, find our link on the IndyChannel.com or the RTV6 app. And don't ever forget that you are the most important person in someone's life. We will be right back.
Absolutely ends Monday at Ashley Home Store.
The project will tie up traffic for a while, but supporters say it will make traveling through part of Hamilton County much smoother once it's done. On Monday, government, business leaders, and others gathered to mark the start of State Road 37 improvement project. Several intersections in Fishers will be turned into roundabout interchanges, similar to Keystone Avenue in Carmel. Supporters say it is a much-needed change.
As you know, that if we really didn't do anything with this project, it's already at gridlock right now. And so something needed to be done. And so the city of Fishers, the city of Noblesville, Hamilton County, and NDOT worked closely together to put this project together that's going to help families get home sooner, help these businesses along this corridor.
The roundabouts will be built on State Road 37 between 126th and 146th Street. The full project is expected to be complete by 2022. This morning, the northern Indiana woman charged with murdering her stepdaughter says she wants to act as her own attorney. Right now, a trial date for Amanda Carmack is scheduled for February 3rd. Carmack is accused of strangling 10-year-old Skylee Carmack. The girl's body was found last week in a shed behind the family's home in Gas City, days after she was reported missing. During a hearing on Monday, Amanda Carmack told the judge she wants to represent herself. The judge is allowing it for now, but also appointed standby counsel for the suspect.
On September 9, 1969, 83 of our brothers and sisters departed this earth to rest in peace for eternity.
Friends and family attended a ceremony to honor the lives of those killed in the worst air disaster in Indiana history. Allegheny Airlines Flight 853 collided with a small plane over Shelby County 50 years ago, killing 83 people. Monday's memorial was held near the site of wreckage near the town of London. The son of the pilot of the Allegheny flight says the tragedy did not stop him from following in his father's footsteps.
Inspired by my father, I have taken on the responsibility of flying captain on the Boeing 747 for 18 years, as well as continuing my passion for small aircraft by flying my own single-engine home-built aircraft.
After the crash, the National Transportation Safety Board held hearings in Indianapolis to find out how two planes flying in daylight with decent weather could have collided in midair. Findings from that investigation and other air disasters led to changes in air safety. You can learn more about this history of this tragedy and its impact by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story. A park on the west side of Indianapolis is getting a new attraction. On Monday, city and neighborhood leaders broke ground on the Taggart Memorial Amphitheater project. Riverside Park's historic Thomas Taggart Memorial will be restored to include the amphitheater. It will become the new home of the Indy Shakes, which is also known as the Indianapolis Shakespeare Company.
We look forward to all future collaborations with the neighborhood. The sky is truly the limit. We offer a high quality, fully professional production to the community for a free admission price. So that antithetical idea, yeah, cheers for that.
The city says the amphitheater should attract numerous productions. It's expected to open by June. We are taking a live look right now over the Circle City. The sun starting to rise out there, Todd. And as the sun does rise today, it is going to get increasingly hotter and hotter out there.
Yeah, and very, very quickly that's going to happen as soon as the skies start to brighten here, which they're already starting to do finally here. Sunrise officially not until 7:21 this morning. But as you look to the north here, there's enough daylight out there that you can see a little bit of cloud cover off in the distance there. But overall, it's a pretty decent morning for us. 69 degrees is the current temperature. The winds are out of the south-southeast right now at 8 miles per hour. It's that southerly wind component that's going to help to bring temperatures up into the upper 80s to even 90s here across the area later on this afternoon. And everybody is within about 10 degrees of each other. 62 in Greencastle compared to 72 in Muncie. 59 is one of the cooler spots down to the south in Columbus. So we're dealing with these clouds increasing across the area. While we will remain dry here throughout the course of the morning commute, so you don't have to worry about any rainfall. That is well off to our north, and high pressure is really in control down to our south, and that's going to keep all these storms north of the state of Indiana throughout the day today. If your travels take you to the north, though, eventually you'll run into them, but not an issue for us here locally. As far as temperatures go, already up to 80 degrees by the time we get to 11 a.m. this morning. And as we continue hour by hour throughout the afternoon, by the time we get to 2 p.m., we're all the way up to 87 degrees, and then high temperatures today will be topping off right around 90 here in the city, but there'll be some locations, I think, down to the south that could get into that 92 to maybe even 93 degree range for some of you. Bedford over towards the Columbus area, even Bloomington potentially up into the low 90s later on this afternoon. Now downtown going to be busy this evening with the people out and about, and a lot of people heading to the Backstreet Boys concert. They're at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. Temperatures in the mid 80s as that starts, eventually falling into the 70s throughout the course of the evening hours. Then overnight 66 to 71 degrees. So very similar temperature-wise tomorrow morning compared to this morning. Tomorrow, though, we do bring in the chance of a few thunderstorms. Still right around 90 degrees tomorrow for your high temperature. And overall, it's a partly cloudy day, but there'll just be the chance off and on tomorrow of a few isolated storms starting to flare up. We're back into the heat. We're back into the humidity. So it's not going to take a whole lot to generate a few of these storms here across the area. Here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. Friday's the day we target for the passage of a cold front. That's the day we also, with the front going through, that have the best chance of seeing more widespread storms across the area, followed by cooler, less humid air that'll be in place for the weekend. But most importantly, it looks like the weekend at this point is going to be sunny both Saturday and Sunday. Meredith.
All right, Todd, thank you. We want to take a live look from our INDOT traffic camera this morning. There is a 3-car crash at I-465 at West 38th Street, exit 17. The 2 right lanes of 465 northbound are blocked. You can see that backup starting to happen there. So if this is part of your commute, just make sure you give yourself plenty of extra time and remain patient as you head out the door. Next on Good Morning Indiana, it is rare that radio stations stop the music, but today Radio 1 stations are doing just that, and they hope to use that time to save lives on this World Suicide Prevention Day. And this man has a goal. Some might think it's a strange goal, but he's made it halfway already. We'll show you this big coffee fan has a little more to go. We'll tell you about that coming up. It's 6:51. We'll be right back.
Working for you.
Today is World Suicide Prevention Day, and it's a special day for us at RTV6 and our partners at Radio 1. That's where our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. Alyssa, a lot of special programming today from the Radio 1 stations with the goals of saving lives.
You want to hear that? All you have to do is text the word SONG, S-O-N-G.
That's right, Meredith. So it is World Suicide Prevention Day, and I'm here with the Joe and the Radio Now morning show. They are going to actually stop the music starting at 10 this morning, and that's going to last until 2 p.m. And what they're going to do during that time is hold some very important conversations. They're going to have some panels of experts here in the studio throughout the day talking about suicide prevention as well as mental health awareness. So this is going to be a very important day here at the Radio 1 studios. And this is not the only station that's going to stop the music. Several Radio 1 stations are going to do that throughout the day. And again, that's from 10 to 2 today. And they are going to have that special programming. The hope is that this helps prevent suicides across Indiana and across the country. We are actually also on in Houston with this station this morning, so there are a lot of ears listening, and this is a very important topic to cover. They are hoping that this makes an impact, and the hope is to really start that conversation among people that need that help with mental health and mental health awareness. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Alyssa, thank you very much. A very, very important topic. So you think you need your cup of joe in the morning? Well, you have nothing on this guy. He says he is on a quest to visit every Starbucks in the world. So far, he says he's visited more than 15,000 Starbucks locations on 4 continents. He began this journey in 1997. Now, the problem is when he started, there were only about 1,500 Starbucks locations. Well, Todd, Starbucks just opened its 30,000th store in China alone. He now calls his travels Starbucking. Even better, his name is Winter, so that's what he gets to have baristas right on all those cups. I would love to see, you know, you can have like the Starbucks gold card,
right?
And you get your stars. I would love to see how many stars he has.
I wonder how much money he spends each year. Just in Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not cheap.
And does he eat anywhere else? Does he just get, you know, food from Starbucks too? I have a lot of questions that need answered now.
It's just going to be never ending because they just keep adding more and more. So he's going to be going, like Forrest Gump. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with temperatures that are in the 60s. We'll warm to 90 this afternoon. So it's a hot day for us with partly cloudy skies. Humidity comes up a little bit. It's not super oppressive, but enough. I think you'll notice near 90 through Thursday. There's the chance of some spotty storms tomorrow. Better storm chances Friday.
A good week for some iced coffee, Todd.
There you go.
All right, we're back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with more news, weather, and traffic updates. We hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you back here in a bit. Thanks for watching.